I think I'm getting old. I mean, I don't really think I'm getting old. I actually am getting old. Like, I'm at the point now where I look at the things that younger people do and I just roll my eyes, right? That means that you're officially old. I roll my eyes at video games today. Like, I love them. I love to play video games, but people spend hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of dollars for their kids to play games. When I was a kid, my mom, like, when the lights came on and I was out of bed, my mom was like, get out and don't come back in until the street lights come on. And we had to go find ways to entertain ourselves, right? We'd play in the woods, or we'd go here, or we'd play different games. But our games didn't cost money. We didn't get to ask mom for money. You know what we got to ask mom for? Just grace and mercy not to kill us during the daytime, right? I was allowed to come home and pick up a supply and get back out, right? We played pickup ball games. Like, we'd get all the neighborhood kids together and we'd play baseball, pick up the teams, do the whole thing. We played dodgeball. Remember dodgeball? Dodgeball. The whole idea of the game is to knock someone's heads off. It's not really, again, in the rules. It's in the rules that if you hit them in the head, that they're not really out. But you really just wanted to hit kids in the head, right? And that, like, those games didn't cost money. We would play games like pickup basketball games, or if we were bored and you only had all you had was chalk, the girls would play hopscotch, right? And all those things would be crazy. We played guns. I don't know if you played guns or war when you were a kid. Starts off with just your fingers, progresses to some, like handheld plastic guns, escalated to some BB guns, right? Eventually we were shooting fireworks at each other. But the point is that our games didn't cost anything. They were cheap. Remember red light, green light? Red light, green light was a thing. Probably every kid has played red light, green light. The person in the front says, red light, and they look at everybody. The person says green light, and everybody runs toward them. The first to tag the person in the front wins. You get to be the person in front. Red light, green light is every person's childhood. You probably still, in fact, I know you do, you play red light, green light today. Like, every time you pull up to one of these intersections, these places in life where there's a traffic signal, right? You play a little red light, green light. Let's just kind of go over the rules again. When you see a red light, what does it mean? Exactly, it means stop. And when you see a green light means go. Exactly, good job. Now, what does it mean when you see a yellow light? Yeah, that's where the tension comes in, doesn't it? Right? Sometimes you think it means really hurry up and get faster and go through it because it's about to turn red. Other people say, oh no, it means use caution. My daughters, I have 3 girls. They're Marissa, Michaela, and Maya. The older two, Marissa and Michaela, they swear up and down that they were taught to drive by an entirely different person than my youngest daughter, Maya. See, when Marissa and Michaela were 16 and they were figuring it out, I was like, hey, the long, thin one on the right's the only one that matters. The one on the left is only there to keep you from dying, right? All go all the time. Like, they'd pull up to a stop sign and they'd wait for a second and I'd start snoring. How long are we going to wait here? Come on, let's go. Hurry up. And I tell them, the light would turn yellow, and I'm like, hurry, hurry, hurry. It's going to turn red. We got to get through the intersection. And I would always rush them. I'd always say, you can do this faster. You can do it better. Why are we waiting? You're going to start to sleep. Then between Michaela and Maya learning to drive, I read a book called Ruthlessly Eliminate Hurry by John Mark Comer. It changed everything for me. It really did. I was such a hurried person. It was all out of my own selfishness, all out of my own brokenness, and I was always in such a hurry because I thought everything couldn't survive without me, and I had to get to wherever I was going as fast as I could possibly get there. And I rushed everything. But when I read that book, it really kind of turned the light on for me, reminded me that I need to live an unhurried life, a life that doesn't put me at the center of everything. So I started the process, I'm still learning it, of slowing down. So when my daughter Maya learned to drive, we get up to a stop sign and say, hey, listen, darling, it's no big deal. Let everybody go when they need to go. Nobody has ever spent the night at a stop sign, right? Or I tell them when we get up to the, hey, caution, chill out. You don't need to get through this light that quick. It'll be okay. You just gently apply the brake, slow stuff down. With the girls before, when they pull up to a stop sign, I'm like, hey, get over real quick. You can get around this truck right now. But with Maya, I'm like, hey, look, you know what? You're not going to die if you get stuck behind somebody. It's going to be okay. You're going to be there 1 minute later. It's not that big of a deal. But see, we have a hurried dad the first 2 times and a less hurried dad the 3rd time. And the truth is, they made better drivers out of Maya than I did out of Marissa and Michaela. The 2 of them struggle, if we're being honest. But the thing that I think we want to focus in on today. Like the serious thing is this verse. My child, never forget the things that I've taught you. Like, I don't want the girls to forget the things that I've taught them. I want them to remember all of those things. I want them to ingrain all of that stuff into what I thought, because I taught them quickly some different principles, but I taught them well how to operate a vehicle. Now, some of them have forgotten some of them, right? But store my commands in your heart. This is what God's saying to us. If you do this, you will live many years. Your life will become satisfying. Never let loyalty and kindness leave you. Tie them around your neck as a reminder. Write them deep within your heart. And then you will find favor with both God and people. And you will earn a good reputation. Can I just tell you this? If you know Jesus, if you're a follower of Jesus, this is mandatory for you. This is a command from Scripture. But if you're here today, you're listening, and this whole Jesus, God, faith, church thing, right, is arm's length for you, and you're not sure about it, you're not sure if you buy it, can I just tell you this? Every word that I'm about to say applies to you too. You don't have to believe in Jesus for this to make you a better person and for this to help you find favor with God and people and earn a good reputation. The truth is, you can do this, just makes you a better human. And this is important stuff, and this is exactly what we want for our lives. Let me ask you this question. You remember when you first learned to drive? I mean, when you first learned to drive, you were 10 and 2, weren't you, right? You were thinking, gas, but your foot was always just ready to react and push on the brake, right? And you drove through every intersection thinking, when you first learned to drive, you thought, okay, green means go, but it could turn yellow any second. I have to think about that. And if I'm going to do that, where am I going to stop? Okay, can I go? Is this okay to go? Or that light would turn yellow, but it's somebody else's light. You'd have to think through every part of it. Now that you're older, right? It's been a year or 30 years, give or take, right? And since you learned to drive, do you think about it anymore? No. Get in the car, you know it's my turn to take a right turn. I know when it's not my turn. I don't even have to think about it. I can drive all the way home without processing any of the real things. I still obey all the rules. Why is that? Because those things have become deeply ingrained in us, haven't we? I mean, can we be honest? We do most of our life out of habit, don't we? I mean, habits are not always a bad thing. In fact, habits, something becoming so deeply ingrained in us that we do it without really thinking, is a good thing. You brush your teeth out of habit, don't you? You don't have to think about back, forth. Okay, now back again and toward the front again. You don't. You just brush them out of habit. When you put your pants on this morning, you didn't have to think about how to do that, did you? You just did it out of habit. Your socks, you put them on out of habit. You get dressed, get your body ready, you wind up in the car, you drive out of habit. In fact, I would say that you do most of the things you do in life out of habit. They're automated in your life because that is the ingrained way. And that's what this passage is saying. Store my commands in your heart. Ingrain them in who you are. Wrap them around your neck as a reminder. Write them deep within your heart. Because the reality is, ingrained wisdom and not assumed rights are what keep you alive in the intersections. You and I are going to face those intersections in life, and some really bad stuff can happen in the intersections. Some really terrible things can happen in the intersection because not everybody else obeys the same rules, right? Not everybody else is paying attention. Not everybody else is being as cautious as you are being cautious. The truth of it is, it's that your ingrained wisdom, it's your situational awareness, it's your knowledge that that person doesn't seem to be stopping over there, or that person is switching lanes when they shouldn't be. It's your awareness and the wisdom of learning, experience in driving, that allows you to stay alive, not your assumed rights. You know, it'd be easy when you're a kid going, I got the green light, I can just go, right? Yeah, if you can go. It's your right to go. But you might be hit by that truck over there that doesn't seem like he can get his brakes working. Or you might be that guy that's switching lanes into your lane even though he shouldn't. Your assumed right might get you killed. It's your ingrained wisdom that keeps you alive. So I was just thinking about this, like, what is it that you and I can do? What is it that you and I can do to ingrain wisdom in us? Proverbs says it this way. The fear of the Lord is the foundation of true knowledge, but fools despise wisdom and discipline, right? A fool just barrels through there and goes, I got a green light, I get to go no matter what. And that might be good if you got in an accident and wound up in court. But if you got an accident and wound up a corpse, that's a different story, isn't it? It's not your right going through there. It didn't really matter, because ingrained wisdom keeps you from making choices that, despite the actions of others, will allow you to live through those critical moments in life where you are at an intersection. Just like an automobile intersection, those are dangerous times. Your life, when we get to those kind of critical junctures, right? Decision making, pivotal moments like we talked about last week, those moments make a big difference in the way you survive. So I was thinking is, what can we do? Let's just collect some wisdom. Let's just talk real, relevant, and honest and specific, because there are kind of three different places in our life. There are times when we're at a red light, when we're waiting, right? We're waiting for life to keep going. We're on hold, waiting on something. What's the wisdom when we're at a red light? What's the wisdom when we don't know what to do? When life is just like a yellow light, and you're like, I don't know. I don't know, which direction should I go? Who should I listen to? How should this play out? And then there are times when you're on the go, right? And you got the green light in front of you. What's the wisdom that you can live out when life is going forward in the green light? It doesn't mean you just have the right to kind of dismiss it all, right? You do have the rights. You could do whatever you wanted to do. You got the green light, but it could wind you up as a corpse. So what's some wisdom? What's wisdom when you're waiting? When you're stuck at a red light, what do? I don't know about you, but the old me especially would tap my fingers on the dash. You know, I'd be like looking around, just trying to figure out what to do. Come on. Hurry up, right? I'd start watching and, predicting when my light was going to turn green by looking at the other lights. Do you do that? Right? I see you do that, don't you? You look at the other lights, they turned yellow, this one's light's next, or you've started to figure out the pattern of who gets to go after who because you're in a hurry, right? Or do you ever play Magic Man, Like 1, 2, 3, change. You're like, I can change the light, right? You hurry it up. Or you're looking at it going, oh, this truck looks like he's going to start off slow. So I can, if he starts off slow and this guy starts off normal, I can jump between him and go around him. What do you do when you're waiting? The same thing's true in life, right? There are some times in life where life is just a little complex and difficult. And you're kind of at a hold, right? Maybe it's a relationship that it's on hold. And you're not sure what to do about the next step. You're kind of stopped right now, and there's a part of you that goes, I don't know exactly when this is going. I want it to hurry up, right? Or maybe there's a financial thing that's going on, or there's a relational thing or a business thing, and you're tempted just to step on the gas, right? But you've got that red light in front of you. For some reason, you've got to stop. You've got to stay where you're at. What I'd say to you, don't be such a hurry. I mean, man, I got to be honest with you. So much of my life passed me by in a blur, a flurry of images that just zipped right by me because I was in such a hurry that I rarely stopped to breathe. I rarely stopped. I rarely enjoyed the wait till a few years ago. When I read that book, it made a difference in the way I thought. And I mean, I'm not there yet. I'm just working it out, but don't be in such a hurry. Look at what Psalms chapter 46 says. It says, come see the glorious works of the Lord. See how he brings destruction upon the world. He causes wars to end throughout the earth. He breaks the bow and snaps the spear. He burns the shield with fire. Be still and know that I am God. Man, that's hard for us, isn't it? I mean, wisdom when you're waiting, the red light in life, just to be still and know. Like that other passage in Scripture, it says, taste and see that the Lord is good. How often are we guzzling through life and never able to sip and taste the goodness of God? Can I just say this to you, that God's at work around you? He's orchestrating the life that happens around you, and you're just buzzing through it. Can't wait to get to the next thing. Can't wait to knock down the next wall. Can't wait to take the next hill. That you miss so much of the beauty of life. Can I be just real personal and honest with you right now? I have 3 girls. Our oldest daughter is pregnant and due any day. Our middle daughter's away at college. I don't get to see her a ton. She'll be home, thank goodness, when Marissa has the baby, right? And Maya, our youngest, the little baby, right? She's graduating high school in a few months. I remember not all that long ago, just feels like yesterday, right? I had an app on my phone, the Orange app, and it counted down the weekends. It told me the number of Saturdays between that day and the day that Maya would graduate high school. I'm like, wow, where have those Saturdays gone? Right? Where are all the things? I was so busy trying to get to the next thing. So busy trying to move here, so busy trying to church plant, so busy trying to see us grow, so busy trying to get us into a building, so busy doing this, so busy doing that. You know what I missed? The blur of life has gone by. Can I just say this to you? Whether you're 45 or 25, don't be in such a friggin' hurry. Just relax. Know that God is at work. Be still and know that God is good. Can I just point this out to you, that God made you a human being, not a human doing? That there is wisdom in finding some peace in some of the pauses. That's an important thing. But sometimes you're stopped. Sometimes you're just not sure. Am I supposed to go? Is it my turn? Is this where I'm at? Like, have you ever been there? Like, if you've ever taught a kid to drive, you know exactly what it is. They pull up to a four-way stop and is it my turn? Can I go? I'm not sure. Like, or you go, hey, I think I can go, but am I not able to go? Is this my turn? Is it my place to go? What is the wisdom when the light's yellow? What do you do? What are things that could be wise for you and I to do when we're unsure? I just maybe have a couple of questions for you. Just two, really. Who are you listening to? You know, when you pull up and you're driving down the road and the light's green and it turns yellow, right? There's the tension that comes up, and the tension is provided by two things. How hurried are you, and who else is in the car? Let me ask you this question. Who are you listening to? Are you listening to the passengers around you? I mean, because there are some stupid people in our lives, aren't there? Some people that would tell us to slam on the gas and get through this. That might cost us everything. You know, sometimes if we're not careful with the people that are around us, they could literally lead us to destruction. It's insane how important the influences of people are. Look at Proverbs 13:20. This is one of my favorite proverbs, by the way. It says, walk with the wise and become wise. Associate with fools, you're going to get in trouble. Another translation of it says, he who walks with the wise grows wise, but the companion of fools suffers harm. Like, it's going to hurt you when you listen to the person who's pushing you through everything. So when you're in a position in life, and it happens to all of us, where we're unsure what to go, what about this relationship? What about that person? What about this thing? What about this opportunity or not opportunity? What about this challenge? What about this sin that keeps coming up? Let me ask you, what is the quality? Would you say that the person that you're listening to is wise, or are they fools? Because it says the companion of fools will suffer harm. And in my experience in my life, when we hang out with idiots, we become idiots. We experience harm. It's more likely that the companion of fools will experience harm. So when you're going through the intersection in life and it's yellow and you're not sure whether to go or whether to slow down and you don't know what to do, are you listening to somebody who you can trust with your life? Because just like an intersection, it's all at stake, whether you listen to them or not. And the second part of it is, who are you talking to? When you're unsure what to do, who are you talking to? I mean, who you're listening to, who's in your ear, who's motivating you to move forward, but then also who are you processing this with? Who are you bouncing it off of? Sometimes when I have to make a decision, you know what I do? I ask people who tell me what I want so I can do what I already decided. Isn't that how we all do it? At some level, we ask people who will tell me what I want to hear so that I can do what I've already decided. But there's needs to be in us a humility, an openness that says to a person, hey, you know what? I don't really know what to do, and I want to ask people who are ahead of me on this journey, who've made good choices, maybe some who've made some bad choices, and understand with them, like process with them, what does this mean? And what about prayer? Tune your ears to wisdom. What we need to do when life is unsure is really about turning that dial. See, when I was a kid in the car, like we didn't have like digital stuff, right? Remember back when you were kids, maybe some of you are old enough to remember when we had the little wand and you cranked the wand and you had to, like if you wanted to listen to a radio station, by the way, if you're under 30 years old, we used to have these things called radio stations that were like, we didn't just get to demand whatever song we wanted to hear. If you wanted to hear a song, you had to sit and listen and wait and wait and wait till you got there. But we used to have tune-in radio stations, and to tune in 94.7, which was Z95 when I was a kid, you would tune that little wand until the station came in. And what Scripture's saying here, when you're unsure what to do, tune your ears to wisdom and concentrate. Think about understanding and cry out for insight. Ask for understanding. Man, I don't know about you, but when you're in that point where life is on the yellow light and I'm unsure, can I make it? Do I go? Do I stay? Do I turn? Do I put the brake on? Do I put the gas on, right? Do I swerve? What do I do here? I don't know what to do. Wisdom, when life is unsure, reminds us to tune our ears to wisdom. Listen to don't listen to the passenger or the moron next to me, and process this with God's wisdom deeply ingrained in our hearts. Ingrained wisdom, not your demanding your rights, is what will keep you alive in the intersection. I love these words because sometimes I don't really even know what to do, but I also don't know what to pray. John Bunyan said it this way: it's better to have prayer without words than words without heart. Sometimes when I don't know what to do, I also don't know what to pray. God, tell me. God, please. There are some parts in my times in my life where I've had hard decisions to make, and all I can get out is, Jesus, God, please help. When all we can mumble or feel is a grunt, we have an advocate who interprets our groans, right? Carries them to the Father. It's better to have prayer without words than words without heart. But what about when your life is on the go? I mean, there's a part in all of our life, we got the green light, right? We can demand it. We can just barrel through it, can't we? No, we can't. Because ingrained wisdom in us, not our demanded rights, is what keeps us alive in the intersections. A lot of time in life, we've got the green light. We're just moving forward. God has given you wisdom. He's given you a brain. You're an intelligent human being. You've figured out how to breathe in and out and put the left foot in front of the right foot for long enough now. You know how to walk and chew gum at the same time. God has given you that gift. God has given you the intelligence you have, the giftedness you have, the experience you have. Those are all gifts from God. And sometimes the light is green, and He's looking for you to, with Him, in concert with Him, kind of work out some of those details together with your giftedness, your mind, and your ability. But I think there's some wisdom that we can have as we're going through the green light, right? I mean, there's a couple of things, and some of them are similar to when we have the yellow light. Like the first one is this one: avoid the morons, right? You got that guy who you see next to you when you're on the green light and you're on the path, you're running through. This guy next to you is texting on his phone. Stay away from that guy, right? Why do you want to stay away from him? Because you don't know what he's going to do next. He's clearly not engaged. And that is true. It's what Proverbs 1 says it this way: my child, if sinners entice you, turn your back on them. You may feel bad about turning your back on a friend, but Scripture says that's the wise thing to do. Because when you're on the go and this person's going to kill you or derail your life or take you off task, it is right. It's the best thing for you to do to turn your back on them. Can I be honest with you? You struggle with addiction? Being close friends. I didn't say you have to hate them, but being close friends with another friend who's struggling in their addiction, it's not smart for you. It's best if that sinner entices you to turn your back on them. Not to be mean. I'm not saying you have to tell everybody they're a loser. I'm just saying, hey, you just need to spend less time with them. That's just the truth of it. If there's a person that in your office or in your workplace, or a person down the street, or a person that you know from the gym that you talk to and tempts you to walk away from the marriage that you committed to, turn your back on them. Avoid the morons. Your life may be on the go, but I'll promise you this: just because you have the right to go through the intersection doesn't mean that it's wise to not pay attention. If you've got somebody in your life right now that is pulling you off track or distracting you, avoid the morons and stay alert, right? I mean, one of the things you teach your children throughout the intersection is not that you got a green light so you can go ahead and text, right? You tell the kids, listen, you got a green light, but you got to watch out because not everybody around you is obeying the same rules you are. Some people aren't paying attention. They think that their yellow light is a reason to speed up and that they might beat the red light. But you know what they also might do? Come straight through your green light intersection and T-bone you and send you not to court, but to a corpse. So the question is, are you willing to be alert, even though the light says go? Are you paying attention to the things around you that could kill everybody? Are you watching to make sure that the person next to you is intelligent and going the same direction? Are you making sure that the person that's behind you is also watching and not going to T-bone you or rear end you? Can we just talk honestly about the fact that we need to stay alert? Look what Proverbs says. He says, he guards his heart. He guards the paths of the just and protects those who are faithful to him. Then you will understand what is right, just, and fair, and you will find the right way to go. For wisdom will enter your heart, and knowledge will fill you with joy. Wise choices will keep watch over you, and understanding will keep you safe. Understanding, persistent observation of your surroundings, wisdom, is really just us taking all of the things around us. It's situational awareness. It's us knowing what's behind us, knowing what's in front of us, knowing what could potentially derail a great day, a great life, a great decade. Understand something. Just because you have the right to go through something doesn't mean you shouldn't be aware of your surroundings. The third thing is keep reading the signs. Like, just because you've got the green light doesn't mean that you shouldn't keep an eye out on everybody else's red lights. It doesn't mean that you shouldn't still watch the caution hidden intersection. It doesn't mean that you shouldn't still pay attention to the way that other traffic is allowed to come into, because you have a responsibility for you. And I don't really care about the traffic laws. I don't really care about the rules. I don't really care about that. I care about your life. So when you're going through an intersection, I tell the girls, just be aware and keep reading the signs. Same thing's true of us. I don't really care if you obey all the rules. What I care about is that you walk with God, because his word is a lamp to guide your feet. It's a light for your path. There's something that will illuminate the path in front of you. I remember when I was a kid and I was learning to drive, my mom would tell me, don't drive in front of your headlights. Never drive in front of your headlights. So when I was driving at night, the lights would only reach so far. And my tendency, especially then, I mean, even more so later on in life, but I was wanting to go as fast as I could. I know this road and it's dark, I'm not worried about it. My mom would say, don't drive in front of your headlights. Only assume everything you can possibly see. God wants us to walk with wisdom through those green lights, even when you're on the go, by using his word, and our relationship with him is a lamp for our feet and a light for our path. But don't drive in front of it. Don't assume it's all good, right? Don't blaze through all of it. Walk with him. He wants to walk with you, because not only will it protect you, but that's what we were created for. So that's really kind of where it all lands for us. It's that verse that we talked about in the beginning. My child, never forget the things I've taught you. Store my commands in your heart, and if you do this, I will live many years. Your life will be satisfying. Never let loyalty and kindness leave you. Tie them around your neck as a reminder. Write them deep within your heart. And then you'll find favor with both God and people, and you will have a good reputation. You see, God knows that the intersections that we face come up every day. Some of them are announced with really big lights and signs and everything else, stuff to draw our attention to this really big intersection. Some of them are just country road intersections. You don't even really think about the fact that you passed it. But a wise person knows how to walk in wisdom, whether we're waiting, whether we're unsure, or whether we're on the go. It's my hope for us today.